Hey guys, I'm going to get right into a major concept that a lot of guys trip up on who are having trouble with women, which is about being assertive and about saying no and disagreeable at the right times with women, which will actually build your attraction. Because if you fall into the trap of being too much of a nice guy, the nice guy syndrome, always agreeable, avoiding conflict, that's not as attractive as you think. Okay, and this is a bit of a paradox. A paradox being assertive and disagreeable actually makes you more desirable. And you ever wonder why being too nice, being too much of a nice guy doesn't work out? Well, there's a reason, and I'll get right into it. But I just wanted to say a disclaimer that this isn't about being a dick. This isn't about being malicious in any way, okay? It's about creating boundaries. And these boundaries they'll respect in the end. And that's the most important thing about what I'm going to say, but I'm going to get right into it. The common traits of a nice guy is they're afraid to say no, always accommodating, lacking boundaries. This often leads to frustration, lack of respect, and attraction from women because women need these boundaries. Women are based, here's a little secret for you guys, you might not understand. Women are based off emotions, and when there's a degree of uncertainty, they will automatically say no. Okay? When they're uncertain about something, they'll go to no, even though they might really want to say yes. So this assertive and then being, taking dominance in the situation, not being a nice guy, not being too agreeable, you'll actually guide the whole pair bonding process into one where they actually truly want in the end. They really want a guy that's like this. Okay, and that's the secret. This is the paradox. Okay. When assertiveness leads to an evolutionary perspective of confidence, leadership, and stability. These are the things that are like switches that are built into women. So confidence. If you were to ask 100 women what's the most important thing that they look for a guy, 75% of them will say confidence. Okay. Assertiveness and leadership, stability. This is what it comes down to. This is what they're looking for. These are the switches within them that's going to make them open their legs to you. If you flip all of these switches, this is what the guys don't understand. Guys want to be there all accommodating, and the most common thing is asking them what they want to do for dinner, or what do you want to do tonight? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I'm too agreeable to even make a decision, whatever. Instead of being like, okay, we're going to go here, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. They say, no, we're going to go over here. This is what we're going to do tonight. And then they're going to be like, okay. That's what the type of thing I'm talking about, okay? And it's about they want to be with a man who is in control, who stands up for himself, and has the confidence and a degree of arrogance. Without being a dick, you can be a bit arrogant, but it's in a teasing way. It's a lighthearted way, okay? You're not being overly arrogant, okay? And this is the balance I'm talking about, okay? But in the end, it shows that you're in control of your life and you're in control of the relationship. And just say a Latin type of dance, the man always leads the women, okay? We're the leaders of the dance, okay? The dance of the pair bonding whole process, it comes down to. So by setting boundaries, it shows self-respect and emotional strength. The second thing, as far as confidence goes, which women look for, is emotional intelligence. So by showing this, you're showing emotional strength, which is emotional intelligence. And what it all does is create a sense of challenge, mystery, and intrigue. That's actually there forces them to actually work harder. Okay, because if it's too easy and you're too predictable, it's like game over for you, bro. Really. I hate to say it, that's just the way it is. It's a major lesson that any guy needs to learn, and this is very evolutionary based, okay? This isn't some based on culture or tradition or anything. Well, it kind of is at the same time too, but this goes a little bit deeper, okay? And in the end, being disagreeable is part of that, okay? Saying no. Now, it doesn't mean that you say no to everything. Actually, for the most part, there is a lot of the pair bonding process has to be with agreeableness. So I don't want to be harping on this too much, that this is the most important thing. But again, this is something a lot of guys trip up on hard. So again, it's about being disagreeable without being disrespectful or toxic. Healthy disagreement in a relationship, standing your ground on important issues, and women respect men who are confident in their opinions and don't fold under pressure. Because in the end, they want a guy who's a good father, and that's the type of father traits that it is. Like, you're going to fold under your kids' pressure, right? No, you're going to tell your kids, you're going to discipline your kids and tell them exactly what they need to do. But you also, you have to discipline your spouse in the right, appropriate way. So there's a difference between being assertive, firm and confident, and aggressive, hostile and controlling, okay? You don't want to come across as hostile or controlling or malicious in any way. It's about being firm, and you can do that very calmly, actually, and confidently. And assertiveness is about expressing your needs calmly while respecting her opinion, so you can still say, like, what I hear you're saying is this, but this, and this, therefore this, okay? Therefore, no. Because based on your opinions and things, I hear them, but, you can still be very kind about it. I hear your point, but this is what I need. This is what needs to be done, okay? And in the end, there might be a bit of a disagreement, a bit of a friction. They might act a little hostile towards you, but in the end, when you come out on top, trust me, and they respect you because you've trained them essentially for this, that they will in the end respect you better. Again, it's a bit of a paradox, but I'm telling you, it's the way it is. So assertiveness versus aggressiveness, I just talked about, and you got to balance that assertiveness versus compassion. Combining assertiveness and emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence I've talked about before. Stand your ground while showing that you still care about her feelings and perspectives. So you're still showing that I hear you, what you're saying is this. I hear you and I understand this, but this, and this, no. Okay? And women, I think, need to be kept in a little bit of line for the exact point I made before, which is they base their decisions off emotion, not necessarily intellect or rationale. Not always, anyway. Some of them do, but not always. Being assertive creates a dynamic where both partners respect and value each other, and it avoids boredom and creates tension that fuels long-term attraction. Yep. It is a long-term attraction. So when it comes down to, like, when you're with a partner, a lot of guys haven't been with a partner, like a long-term partner, conflict is like a commonplace. There's always going to be conflict, okay, when you're with somebody long-term, okay? So think about this for a second. Say you're a guy who's never been with a woman more than like 6 months. You're going to potentially be trying to avoid conflict with that woman, where somebody who's been with women for over 10 years understands the fact that conflict is commonplace. There's always going to be conflict. You're not afraid of the conflict, but you know how to resolve it. You resolve it by saying no and being assertive in everything I'm talking about. That's the key point. Now, the one thing I gotta just disclaimer is you can't overdo this. You can't be doing this too much. If you do it too much, it gets a bit tiresome, and it can be a bit domineering, and it can be perceived as being aggressive. So there's a time and a place to do it. And it's about respecting your boundaries and your own decisions, because it's about making decisions in life. Okay, and you have to be able to frame it properly, and how to be able to practice healthy disagreement in your conversations when it comes down to that. Okay, so just to recap, it's a bit of a paradox. Okay, like, a lot of guys think that to be able to get a woman, that they have to be totally agreeable and say yes all the time, and be like, try to warm up to them too much. No. What you have to do sometimes is say no at the right times. Okay, and they will respect you for that. And then when you do that, even though you might face some resistance, in the end, then they'll open up to you, be like, this is a real man, legs open to you, I promise you for that. And that will enhance your attractiveness, and it'll encourage like, not to fall into that nice guy trap that a lot of guys are. They're just too passive and trying to please their women too much, like, without staying their ground. That is anti-seductive. So I hope you guys in the comment section share your thoughts, experiences, how being assertive impacted your relationships. Is everything that I'm saying makes sense? Is there something that you could expand upon? There's a few things I could expand upon this, but I really want to lay down the fundamentals here before I do that. And so it's like, but to come down to the original point, being disagreeable is something that, not just for women, but in business relationships and other types of relationships, that is important. You got to be able to stand your ground. And maybe a lot of these guys have a mother that's overbearing. They don't know how to say no to their mother. Freudian relationships are based on what relationship with is what you're like with your mother. So if you have an overbearing mother, you can't say no to. Then when it comes down to intimate relationship, you're not going to say no to them, and it's not going to work out so well. You got to learn how to stand your ground a little bit and be a fucking man sometimes, right? But do it in an appropriate way. Don't be a fucking dick at the same time about it. Don't fall into the trap of being a nice guy, and know what your women want. But at the same time as well, there's a whole bunch of other things I could talk about, which is actually to be seductive on top of this. Okay, this isn't the only thing. Okay, so don't just leave it here. There's a lot of other things I could talk about on top of this about being seductive towards women. That's what this is all about. So thank you for watching, guys. Leave in the comment section below what your thoughts are on this video, and peace.